Article 1252. He who has various debts of the same kind in favor of one and the same creditor may declare at the time of making the payments to which of them the same must be applied. Unless kung napagkasunduan ng partido o kung ang pagbabayad ay ginawa ng isang partido na kung kaninong benefits ang termino ay binuo, ang aplikasyon ay hindi maaari sa utang na hindi pa dapat bayaran. Example, of September 20, Rick paid Shane 1.5. Rick may apply the 1.5 to debt or to debt and to a portion of debt. If Rick paid only 1,000, cannot choose to apply his payment to the debt which is higher because Shane cannot be compelled to receive partial payments. Article 1253. If the debt produces interest, payment of the principal shall not be deemed to have been made until the interest has been covered. Sa sandaling aminin na isang obligasyon ay dapat ilagay muna sa account ang interest at pagkatapos ay bawasan ang ininvest. Ito ay hindi sa pilitan at hindi maaaring mapamahagi ng kasunduan sa isa't isa. Gayunpaman, hindi dapat magkaroon ng pagkakaiba kapag ang batas ang siyang kumilos. Example, Rick indebted 1 to matured interest to Shane. The former pays 1/1 to the latter. The payment should be made first to the interest before the principal.
Article 1254. When the payment cannot be applied in accordance with the preceding rules or if application cannot be inferred from other circumstances, the debt which is most onerous to the debtor among those due shall be deemed to have been satisfied. If the debts due are the same nature and burden, the payment shall be applied to all of them proportionately. Ito yung sinasabi by operation of law. Sinasabi sa article na to, in case walang application of payment na ginawa si debtor at creditor, then the payment shall be applied to most onerous debt. Burdensome is actually there is really no fixed rule. Walang general rule, it depends on conditions. Rules in case na application of payment has been voluntarily made. First, apply to most onerous debt. This is applicable case in undemandable major debts. Second, if debts are of the same nature and burden, application shall be made to all proportionately. Article 1255. The debtor may cede or assign his property to his creditors is payment of his debt. This cession, unless there is stipulation to the contrary, shall only release the debtors from responsibility for their net proceeds or the thing assigned. The agreements which own the effects of the cession are made between the debtor and his creditor shall be governed by special law. Cession of payment or assignment is another special form of payment. This is a process na kung saan lahat ng properties ng debtor transfer sa mga creditors para ang mga creditors may sell them, ibebenta, at yung kita na ibebenta ng properties ni debtors, iyon ang ibabayad sa utang. Effects of assignment and cession of payment. First, the assignment does not make the creditors the owners of property of the debtor. Binigyan lang sila ng authority to sell the properties, kaya magiging assignees lang sila. Second, the debtor is released from his obligation only up to the amount of the net proceeds of the sale of the property assigned, unless there is stipulation to the contrary.
Article 1256. If the debtor to whom tender of payment has been made refuses without just cause to accept it, the debtor shall be released from responsibility by the consignation of the thing or sum due. Kung ang nagpautang kung saan ang kabayaran ay ginawa at hindi ito tinanggap na walang kadahilanan na tanggapin ito, ang may utang ay maaari pakawalan sa kanya responsibilidad sa pamamagitan ng consignation ng mga bagay o kabuuan na dapat niyang bayaran. For example, Justin borrowed 10,000 pesos from Danica on the due date of obligation. Justin offered to pay the obligation but Danica refuses to accept the payment without any justifiable reason. Article 1257. In order that the consignation of the thing due may release the obligor, it must first be announced to the person's interest in the fulfillment of the obligation. The consignation shall be effectual if it is not made strictly in the consonance with the provision which regulate payment. Upang ang bagay na nakadeposito sa hukuman ay mapalaya ang may pagkakautang sa kanyang obligasyon, siya ay dapat magbigay ng abiso sa taong kanyang pinagkakautangan sa kanyang pagtupad ng obligasyon. For example, Justin the lessor of the apartment and Danica is the lessee. Danica announced to Justin that he would like to pay his due through consignation, so the consignation is accepted by Justin.
Article 1258. Consignation shall be made by depositing the things due at the disposal of judicial authority, for whom the tender of payment shall be proved in a proper case, and the announcement of consignation in other cases. The consignation having been made, the interested parties shall also be notified thereof. Ang ibig sabihin ng tender of payment, act of offering the creditor what is due him together with the demand that the creditor accept the same. Ang ibig sabihin naman ng consignation, the depositing of a thing, property, or sum due with the court or proper judicial authority whenever the creditor refused to accept payments. Halimbawa na lang, nangutang si DB na kay Monique ng 500,000, ang una ay maaaring mag-alok ng kung ano ay dahil sa 500,000, kasama ang isang pangangailangan sa pamamagitan ng extrajudicial na pag-areglo. Halimbawa naman sa consignation, nangutang si Edwin kay Sheena ng 200,000 cash noong Enero 2, 2019. Tumanggi na tanggapin ni Sheena ang bayad sa pamamagitan ng cheque o promissory note. Si Edwin ay may utang ay maaaring gumamit ng otoridad sa paghuhukom. Article 1259. The expenses of consignation, when properly made, shall be charged against the creditor. If the consignation is properly made, the filing of the suit must bear the expenses of consignation like storage fees, filing fees, attorney's fees, and other related expenses. Halimbawa na lang, kahit na ang nasasakdal ay tatanggapin ng mga gastos sa kontrata na may kapansanan sa itinakdang panahon. Oo, tungkol sa karapatan ng nasasakdal na mabawi ang lahat ng insidente sa gastos sa pag-iimbak ng almasiga. Habang nakabinbin ang paglilitis na ito, naobserbahan na sa ilalim ng huling talata ng Section 332 ng Code of Commerce, malinaw na sinasabi na ang insidente ng mga gastos sa pagdideposito ng kabutihan ay sisingilin sa nagkasala na partido. Ang mga gastos na ito ay gayunpaman isang kailangang resulta ng pagtanggi ng mamamili na tanggapin ang mga kalakal alinsunod sa kanyang kontrata at pagkatapos ay sa anumang kaganapan na mabawi bilang pangkalahatang mga pinsala sa ilalim ng Article 1124 ng Sibil ng
na quote, binago at nakumpirma na walang gastos.
Article 1260. Once the consignation has duly made, the debtor may ask the judge to order the cancellation of the obligation. And before the creditor has accepted the consignation or before the judicial declaration that the consignation has been properly made, the debtor may withdraw the thing or the sum deposited, allowing the obligation to remain in force. In explanation, when the consignation is properly effected, the court will order the cancellation of the obligation upon motion July filed by the debtor. And when the validity of the consignation has been affirmed by the court, the consignation shall have a retroactive effect. The obligation is deemed paid from the moment the amount or the due has been actually placed at the disposal of the court, and the running of interest, if stipulated, is also deemed suspended at the same time. And the reason why the debtor may still withdraw the thing deposited is that he still owns the money or things deposited at the precise time. Or ibig sabihin nun, kaya meron pa ding reason yung debtor para i-withdraw yung mga bagay or yung mga pera na dineposit niya kasi pagmamayari niya yun. Moreover, since the consignation will be becoming effectual, the obligation shall continue in force. Article 1261. If the consignation have been made, the creditor should authorize the debtor to withdraw the same. He shall lose every preference which he may have over the things. The co-debtors, the guarantors, and the sureties shall be released. For example, Antonio is solidarily liable of 200,000 pesos to Derek with Harris as his guarantor. Antonio offered the payment to Derek on the due date, but Derek refused to accept the same. So Antonio made the consignation and withdraw his deposit after the consent of Derek. So what happened to the relationship of the debtor, the guarantor, and the creditor after the acceptance? In explanation, Derek shall lose whatever preference he may have over the 200,000 pesos because under Article 1261, Derek's consent given to Antonio when withdrawing his deposit has made Antonio not anymore liable to Derek. In addition, since it is a solidary liability, Harris is released only from the solidary liability, but not from the share of obligation. Hence, Harris is still bound to pay 100,000 pesos as his share to the obligation.